Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain Alfvén theorem. So what is Alfvén theorem? In a perfectly electrically conducting fluid, the flux of magnetic field through any closed circuit moving with the fluid remains constant. So we are considering perfectly electrically conducting fluid. So already we have seen what is perfectly electrically conducting fluid. So viscosity tends to 0 and electrical conductivity tends to infinity. Such fluid we call it as perfectly electrically conducting fluid. So in such fluid, the flux of magnetic field through any closed circuit which is moving along with the fluid should be constant. So irrespective of time, the magnetic flux within a closed circuit should be same. This I am going to prove now. So very first thing we have to consider a magnetic flux within a closed circuit. So consider a closed circuit. So this is the curve C1 formed by a fluid particles. We are considering a fluid flow. So this is the moving fluid. So it is a fluid flow. In that fluid flow, fluid particles forms a curve C1. It is enclosed by a surface S1 at time t. This closed curve enclosed with a surface S1 moves along with the fluid flow, and after some time it reaches some other place. This curve I denote it as C2, and the surface is enclosed by this curve C2 is S2 at time t is equal to t plus delta t. This is time. So when time t, the closed circuit formed by the fluid particles is taken as C1. It is enclosed the surface S1. After some time, this closed curve is moving along with the fluid and reaches this place at time t plus delta t. And this closed curve, I am taking it as C2 and it covers a surface S2. So, we are considering magnetic field and it is denoted by the letter H or B. We know that already. So, from the definition of magnetic flux, we have, so what is definition of magnetic flux? Magnetic flux, I am taking it as phi is equal to integral of H into ds, or we can write the same equation as H into n into d cap, n cap into ds. So here we are considering two surface. So in surface 1, the magnetic flux, I am taking it as phi 1, and in surface 2, the magnetic flux is phi 2. So what is Alfvén's theorem? The flux of the magnetic field through any closed circuit moving the fluid should remain constant. It means phi 1 should be equal to phi 2. The magnetic flux on this surface should be same as the magnetic flux in this surface. So we have to prove phi 1 is equal to phi 2. So what is phi 1 now? It is on the surface 1. Therefore it is integration of S1 H, and H is the function of R and T. H depends on its position vector and time t. And what is phi 2? integration over S2 magnetic flux at Rn. Now time changes to T plus delta T. So we are considering the magnetic flux definition. Phi is equal to integral of H into ds. The same equation we can write it as H into n cap of ds, one and the same. So on the surface S1, I am taking the magnetic flux as phi 1. So integral over S1 at the time t. So on the surface S2, the magnetic flux is phi 2. So integral over S2 at the time t plus delta t. Now we have to prove phi 1 is equal to phi 2, or the changes in magnetic flux should be 0. Either we have to prove phi 1 equal to phi 2 or changes in magnetic flux is 0. There is no change in the magnetic flux we have to prove. So from the definition of differentiation, what is d phi by dt? So limit delta t tends to 0. Changes in magnetic flux is phi 2 by minus phi 1 divided by t plus delta t minus t. At phi 1 time is t, for phi 2 time is t plus delta t. Therefore phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by t plus delta t minus t. So this is nothing but limit delta t tends to 0, phi 2 minus phi 1 divided by delta t. So we have to prove this is equal to 0. Already we know the value of phi 2. Phi 2 is integral of this, substitute here. We know the value of phi 1. Phi 1 is integration of this, substitute here. We have to prove that is equal to 0. Now consider a volume enclosed for the surface. So integration of S H n cap ds is equal to the volume enclosed by the surface S H dv. So this we got it using Gauss divergence theorem. Surface integral will be changed to volume integral using Gauss divergence theorem. So here S is total surface. S is total surface. So what is total surface? It is, so total surface can be found by change in surface plus lateral surface. So change in surface means surface changes from S1 to S2. Therefore change in surface and lateral surface. And we know what is lateral surface. So lateral surface of an object is the area of all the sides of the object excluding the area of its base and top. Suppose if we consider a cube, it has 6 faces. So lateral surface is area of these 4 sides and it should not include top and bottom. So what is total surface? Change in surface plus lateral surface. So our equation this becomes S. So S will be S2 integration of S2 H n ds2. H n cap ds2 minus integration over S1 plus integration of lateral surface is given by the curve H dl cross q into dt for the time t. So we know that del dot v is 0 from solenoidal property. this becomes 0. Therefore, LHS is equal to 0. See here, I am considering integration of S H into n cap into ds. This is nothing but integration over V using Gauss divergence theorem. So here S is total surface. Total surface means change in the surface plus lateral surface. So what is change in the surface? S2 minus S1, and this gives us lateral surface. Since del dot H is 0, RHS become 0. So this equation I'll write it as integration of S1 H n ds1 is equal to, I'll shift this to RHS. So I'll get S2 H n cap ds2 plus this I'll write it as Q cross H dl dot dt. Changing the terms. So I'll get, say, Q cross dl become negative and Q cross H into dl become negative of negative. Therefore, sign will not change here. So again, this line integral, I'll change it as surface integral using Stokes theorem. So this term will changes to S2 of, this is for the curve surface C2 or curve C2. Therefore, this will changes to curl of Q cross H n cap ds2 dot delta t. dt is same as delta t. Change in time. So, del dot H is 0. Therefore, RHS is 0. I have shifted S1 to RHS. I get this equation. Here just mathematical simplification. Here first one is surface integral. This is also surface integral. This is line integral. Therefore, using Stokes theorem, line integral changes to surface integral. Now, substituting this value in d phi by dt. So, if we substitute d phi by dt, so what we'll get? So, what is d phi by dt? Limit delta t tends to 0. So, 1 by delta t phi 2. So, already we have written phi 2 integration of S2 H or comma t plus delta t ds2 or n cap into ds2 minus integration of S1. So what is integration of S1 H n cap ds? We got already this. So substitute that also. Minus integration of S2 H n cap ds2 minus integration of S2 del cross Q cross H n cap ds2. So split the terms. Here delta t will get cancelled. Here delta t remains as it is. So this equation becomes limit of delta t tends to 0. Group this term and this term. We will get integration of S2 H R comma t plus delta t minus H by delta t into n cap ds2 minus this term remains as it is. This we will write it as dou h by dou t using differentiation formula. So we will get integration of S2 dou h by dou t n cap ds2, and what is our second term? That is also integration of S to dou H by dou T n cap ds2. Actually, our second term is integration of del cross q cross h. Now, I am substituting del cross q cross h as dou H by dou T because using conservation of magnetic field equation. So, what is conservation of magnetic field? Del cross q cross h is equal to dou H by dou T. Already we have seen this. So, substitute this value here. So, these two terms will get cancelled. We will get 0. What is our left hand side? d phi by dt, which we have to prove. So, we have proved that the magnetic flux through any closed circuit moving with the fluid remains constant. That is our Olfin theorem.